No, particularly today because it is Valentine's Eve. It's also my wedding anniversary. And for a lot of people, love is in the air. That's another song I could have played, honestly. But this is the time to think about romantic things. And, I got a cryptic text from you saying that you're wanting to look at Valentine's Day from a very different angle. Where are we going with this, Frank?
Well, firstly, can I say it's a pleasure to be on your show. You and I have been friends for years, and I've enjoyed what you've been doing with your show. And congratulations on your wedding
Oh, thank you,
anniversary.
sir. Yeah.
Uh, I think what we're going to talk about is fitting for you for your wedding anniversary as we discuss Valentine's Day and Saint Valentine. But I do want to take it in a slightly different direction because, of course, everybody knows Valentine's Day is the day where you buy chocolates, you buy someone a rose or some roses or some flowers, you
Yep.
write them a nice card, you do romantic things on Valentine's Day, which is great. It's good fun, but I don't know how reflective of that is of the saint that gets celebrated on Valentine's Day. And there might be a bunch of people who discover that actually Valentine's Day is the day where we celebrate a saint. A lot of people don't actually know that. And it's a bit of a mystery as to who exactly we're celebrating. Are we celebrating one guy, or there are three possible Saint Valentines who might have been amalgamated into one? The guy we most think about was probably Saint Valentine of Rome, who was
Okay.
martyred in 296. Could have been a priest, could have been a bishop. Nobody really knows, but he was martyred in 296, and he was martyred in 296 for his faith. And then there are a whole lot of legends around him. He's the guy who might have been illegally conducting weddings for Roman soldiers who weren't supposed to get married, which is why we get the romance thing. But nobody really knows. What we are fairly certain of is that he preached the gospel to other people who were being martyred.
Okay.
So the church, traditionally, over the years, away from all the cultural stuff that we've layered onto St. Valentine and onto Valentine's Day, has seen his martyrdom as the biggest thing,
Yeah.
not romance. So if you walk into any traditional monastery who's still doing kind of the old liturgy of the hours rather than kind of some of the updated stuff, the collect, the prayer that they pray on Valentine's Day to bring it all together, and this might help you with your anniversary, is this: we beseech thee, Almighty God, grant that we who celebrate the heavenly birth of blessed Valentine, thy martyr, may through his intercession be freed from all impending evils. So there's this belief in Catholic circles. And no matter what you think about intercession, no matter what you think about saints and saints interceding for us, there's this hope there that Valentine, through his martyrdom, if he intercedes for us, is this saint who can ward off evil. It's a little bit like Saint Nicholas. Saint Nicholas has his own day in December that
Yep.
isn't Christmas Day. He's the guy that we kind of recognize as Santa Claus with all this lovely cultural fluffy stuff that has been layered over him. But if you go to the ancient collective Saint Nicholas, the prayer that gets prayed is that through his intercession we would be saved from the flames of hell.
Wow.
These things are heavy and they're wonderfully gritty. And in an age where I find that there's a lot that we could be worried about, there we look around and it's not too hard to spot evil. These are the saints that give me some sense of hope. I mean, if we talk about Saint Valentine, we're talking about 1700 years ago.
Wow.
And that idea of God warding against evil has been around since then. So there's a little bit of me that says, yep, the love, the chocolate, all of that, wonderful, go ahead and celebrate it. But for us Christians, there's this grittier thing there to be found in the story of these saints.
I'm not sure that version of it. I'm not sure that martyrdom is going to sell as many flowers and chocolates, Frank. I know it may be historically accurate, but I suppose what do I do with that? Should I cancel my plans for my wedding anniversary weekend and go, no, I'm going to read a book about martyrdom. This is how I'm going to celebrate my wedding anniversary. It just doesn't sound as much fun, Frank. Sorry.
No. And I would say still go ahead and do all of that stuff, but probably understand that it is more a cultural celebration than it
Yeah.
is a celebration of actual St. Valentine. What I take from Valentine is hope. So the continual coming back to these stories and the big stories of the Christian calendar. We think about Lent, which is going to begin soon, and Easter, which isn't too far away. The continual retrenching of these is a continual coming back to the reminder that God is at work. So when I see around me what's going on in the world and I might feel a little hopeless. It's
Yeah.
the constantly coming back to these stories of these people and God at work in the world that enables us to go, look, the world is what it is, but God is at work. And St. Valentine is one of those reminders.
And it's such a wonderful reminder because, we can look at the world today, and the part of the problem is the worst of the world comes to us on our phones. We can see what awful things are happening in different parts of the world, and it's easy to get overwhelmed by that. But this character, and as you say, some of it may or may not be true, and there may be some conflation of various characters. But one thing that seems clear is that St. Valentine lived at a time of history which is, in many ways, so much worse than the times that we're living in at the moment. And despite that, he held on to faith. And despite that, he had a hope for his future, even to the point where he laid down his life. If St. Valentine can push through the times he was living in, we need to toughen up, Snowflake. I mean, come on. I suppose through our own lens it may seem tough, but God is still faithful, right?
Yeah, and Saint Valentine had his eyes on a bigger reward than comfort in this life. Not that comfort in this life is a bad thing. I live a very comfortable life, but his eyes were on something bigger. So when push came to shove, it was that prize after death that he had his eyes on.
Yeah, no, super good stuff indeed. And I think I can still say Happy Valentine's at the end of that.
Yeah, of course.
But thanks for bringing some historical and theological perspective to Valentine's Day. Hey, wonderful to have you on the show. Look forward to chatting again in the near future.
A pleasure. Thanks, Andrew.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.